Hey my dudes, how's it hanging? It's your boy ZNF1 here. So today we're going to do a little quick video on how to set up a tent. This is for anybody who has not done it before, or your tent might not necessarily have the instructions within them, or maybe you just need a refresher course due to, not having instructions for whatever reason. But before we go on and get into this, let's cue intro. Alrighty, my dudes, so in case any of you guys were not privileged enough to go camping or do any of that fun stuff, or you just need a refresher on how to pitch a tent, we're going to go ahead and show you how you get to this from this. It's a pretty straightforward thing, to be honest with you. I said this because it's something quick and easy, and it's like a quick how-to in case you've never done it before. Alrighty, so first off, you lay your structure or like your tent fabricing flat on the ground, and sometimes it doesn't hurt to be in between like two trees, kind of like what I got here, in case you don't have an area to put a flyover. It's not a bad idea to sit there and leave the tarp over the tent by tying it to the trees and everything like that. But first, what you need to get is your stakes. So once you get your stakes, go ahead and find the stake hole, or make one if you need to, and just slide her in and push it into the ground. Most cases you need to hammer it in, make sure it's nice and good in there. Once you got that done, next thing you want to do is grab your poles. In this case, I have foldable ones, and they're not the right ones because the person who gave me this unfortunately did not have the right ones inside the tent bag. So I'll have to talk to them about that, but I can still make do with it. In case you can't or don't have any poles like this, you can always make one from really thin, long tree branches. You just gotta make sure that they're decently stable and everything like that, and they fit through the hole. It'd be a good temporary thing. And then what you could do is you could take some paracord and tie off to an opening on the tent lining where your poles are, and then you just tie it to a tree, kind of like the ones I got behind me. So that's another good reason why it's kind of good to sit here and put your tent in between a couple of trees or something. All right, so you have your anchor points here generally at the ends of the tent, either close by or right next to where you put in your stakes at. So you also can make one if you really need to as well too, just put it in the ground. But so you got your guiding line here for the pole to go into. You slide her on there, and just make sure it's poking through nice and easily, kind of like what I got going here. If you have any bends or folds in it or anything like that, it's gonna be a lot more painful. So it's good if you hold on to the tarp or the tent piece while you push the pole through. Makes it really easy. But yeah, so you just go ahead and get that through to the other end there as well, and then you want to stake them down where the stop or the ends are at, and put it right into the little platform or into the ground. In this case, since the people that gave me this tent gave me the wrong poles for it with it, we're going to just stick this into the ground. Generally, whenever you're doing this too, you want to make sure that they're running diagonal across from it. That should be the only way it should be running generally. Because if it goes like in a cross, like a straight cross, you know, or a normal cross, you're gonna have a harder time getting a door out of it generally. And it just makes it a lot easier to do it that way. So even if you're like to make a tent itself, going diagonals, like angles and everything like that instead of like straights, it makes it so you can have a doorway and all that and make it a lot easier. Unless you're making like a teepee, then you can do it from like 4 sides and make it like a pyramid structure. But either way, those are still on corners. And if you're making a tent, make sure you have a gap at the top. Otherwise, it's going to completely fuck everything over. And even if you're using a pre-made tent, make sure it's got a gap at the top. It just makes it a lot easier, from my experience, whenever you have it. And, you know, like I said earlier, I'm going to take this end piece, just put her right in this flap here. No, actually, sticking on that. That's what I said we were going to do. And then, you know, once you get done with the one end, obviously do it the same to the other end that you got to do to the other diagonal. And voila, there you go. You know, you got a nice little tent for you to sit there and take a nap in, shelter, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to do. Another quick thing to mention, always make sure that your poles are even on both sides. And the reason why I say this is because it helps to keep the structure balance even, so there's equal pressure on all sides or all points that are secured into the ends of the tent or into the ground. Especially if you have poles that are longer than what is actually like required for the tent. Because if you don't, and you got a lot of wind, it's going to be a huge pain in the ass. That's also why I kind of made a suggestion earlier about taking paracord and tying it to your poles, especially if you use like branches and shit like that, long branches for the poles of your tree or your tent. Good to do that. That way it's nice and secured, so it's not going anywhere. You don't have to worry about your tent falling on you in the middle of your sleep or whatever the case may be. And especially with poles, make sure that like your individual poles, especially the ones that are attached through bungee cables and everything like that, make sure that they're all secured throughout the whole like structuring of the tent. Because they're not secured, like that's a fault line in your structure, which will make it likely to collapse on you, which again you don't want. But you know, yeah. So like I said, well, you got yourself a nice little tent. Alrighty, so that is going to be it for today. If you guys did enjoy, please don't forget to, like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me whenever you do this, and it helps to get me further up in the YouTube algorithm. But with that being said, though, my dudes, if you guys want to, have a more interactive experience than just watching my videos, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my main YouTube channel, which is Zelda Naruto Fan 1. It's the same on Facebook as well, and then also do it on Twitch. Username is ZN_F1, and we just, make some memes, dark humor, chill vibes, all that fun stuff. But if you just want to come chill out, talk about this stuff, or talk about something else, feel free to join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Central Time will be live. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it to be educational or enlightening on the topic. With that being said, though, please don't forget to, live long and prosper, take care and peace, and keep it 1,000,000% real. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Free!